I just ate so many spicy, sweet chili Doritos. It's insane. All right. Not my body weight, but pretty close to it. Mike Deodato, 1990s Wonder Woman. This piece right here, obviously, is a Boland piece. You got some Deodato insets right here, though. We're going to check this out. Besides Dave Finch's Wonder Woman run, I'm going to be honest, this is the only time I was excited for Wonder Woman on a monthly basis. So I got two editions here. We're going to look at this one here, which has more content in it. This is a United States trade paperback release of that run. You got Loebs and Deodato. This one collects the entire run that he worked on, which would be Wonder Woman 0, issue 85. You also got 90 through 100, and then you got Legends of the DC Universe, issue 4 and 5 here. So there is some other artists in there. This is the Spanish edition. ECC, this one is a hardcover. Pretty dope collection, just for the sake of having a nice paper collected edition of it. But it doesn't have everything this one has in it. This one I think only has the 90 through 100 and then the 0 issue. So this is more of a collectible here. I'm going to put that back on the shelf, and then we'll start taking a peek at this this bad boy here. I'm going to skip a bunch of it because this thing is, it's almost the size of a phone book, as you can see right here. And it did come out a few years back, so it's not new, but I don't think it's impossible to find either. So if you're interested in Deodato's 90s work, which was very, very Jim Lee influenced, then yeah. Those Doritos are killing me. All right. So I'm seeing right here, you got some guest inks here. You got Beatty, Vince Russell, Kevin Conrad in there as well. Yeah, this whole run, for the most part, you had Brian Boland covers, which were pretty fun. You know what? I lied. There was another run of Wonder Woman I was picking up for the covers, though. It was an Adam Hughes run, and I ended up gifting those to my color flatterer, Carl, because he's a huge Adam Hughes fan. So, but anyways, yeah, when this stuff was coming out, this is before Deodato was working on Glory at Extreme Studios, where I was working. Although it was a Maximum Press title, still published in-house at Extreme. Through Extreme, just under a different moniker. Yeah, it kind of rolled right into it. Glory, obviously is a very Wonder Woman-esque character. So, super highly influenced by... So yeah, he fit real good on that. And obviously you can see the 90s Jim Lee. Some of this stuff kind of comes off like Gary Frank a little bit because he had a very soft... I'm going to assume a lot of brush inks. There was a lot of wispiness to it. It didn't feel like a crow quill. Things like this right here with these rim lights, things like that. That was the 90s sizzle. All of us were leaning real heavy into the rim lighting there. But yeah, he had a really cool take with females. They were clean. They were very Jim Lee-esque, And then male characters and these yoked out demons and stuff like this, they all look straight out of a Pitt comic. It was pretty cool to see an artist that could shift from drawing really attractive, human characters and then flip to these like he had a little bit of softness to his lines, but really they're more of like a chiseled out, bulked up character. And these are found throughout. And then you also get a bunch of stuff in there too. There was like tech stuff, and yeah, it was really I guess I can't really call it fan servicey, but there's a lot of stuff in these books that I know they kind of shifted away from, and readers like myself, I know I didn't stick around after the shift. So yeah, these layouts are fun. You'll notice a lot of stuff in here too, things like this, where even though you have the like this could very easily be a Jim Lee voodoo face right here, right? You get a lot of the wispiness right here too. Deodato, prior to this, I know he spent some time working on Neil Adams comics for continuity, and I think there's a little bit of a house style going on there. My throat was doing just fine before I started recording this, so apologies. Um, so yeah, he carried some of that Neil Adams look over, and yeah, fused it with a lot of Jim Lee. A lot of these. What would you call them? They're not drop shadows. It's just when you get something that has foreshortening towards the reader, a lot of times a way to push that is you're going to drop a very heavy, solid black area underneath of the object closest to the reader. Just makes it a little more bold. And then as you move back towards, like if it's like a fist, as you move back towards the soldier, the shoulder, not the soldier, you'll get a lot more wispy lines and things like that. So, but I just kind of noticed that on Wonder Woman's leg. It's a thing we still do. It's not really a style thing. It's more of just a American comics thing that most artists do in their work. Sometimes it stands out when it looks super deliberate, though. When it doesn't look like you just did it, to do it. It looks very much like make sure they know that knee is in the foreground by dropping this heavy shadow right in this other spot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so we got that Zero issue here. This had to have been right before the Glory series of books. But this is like legit the style he brought over working at Extreme Maximum Press. Well, I guess Glory would have been Extreme, not Maximum, right? Who did we have? Oh, that's right. We had the Evangeline comics, because I know they did an in studio crossover thing between Glory and Evangeline. Rob illustrated. Really cool chromium cover. Haven't seen those in a long time. I see the foils and the rainbow foils, the metallics and that. That's a really cool figure right here. I think Deodato and Platt both got this from a specific Jim Lee issue. I've seen it before. Yeah, what issue was that? Moon Knight 60. You got that same heroic female pose. And I did zoom in, so sorry if I'm like cutting off some panels and stuff here. I'm just going to keep going through. Like I said, this is a huge book. I'm not even a tenth through it yet. It's a really cool shot here. But yeah, Deodato was the artist. The artist, if you needed sultry, feminine, with little bit of a softer line to them. Because he was definitely pulling from popular sources like Mark Silvestri and Jim, and with these, these back muscles and stuff. I still read a bunch of Keown in there. There's a lot of Keown in this work. This right here, very Keownish to me. He's got that the Jim Lee jowl. And the storytelling in these was pretty fun, really easy to decipher. Not a lot of tricks. I'm going to keep page turning here. Make sure this stuff is visible. So even though I was collecting the floppies to these, I feel like I was missing 2 or 3 full issues that's in this collection here. I was almost certain that I had the whole... I might have actually had to go back and get maybe a couple I was missing and just never cracked them. That might be it. Yeah, this whole thing here was definitely capitalizing with his approach to his art. Definitely capitalizing on the bad girl 90s bad girl aesthetic that was selling really, really well. I myself worked on quite a few bad girl properties in the mid 90s, early 90s. Look, it's not Pitt. This guy looks pretty cool. Yeah, this is very... Yeah, there's very, very Del Keown. Those hard rim lights, the shading, the hands, all this stuff. Yeah. I have to drink some water. This right here screams Keown. You just bumped him up, you'd have a green Hulk, David Keown Hulk. But I ain't capping. I love this stuff. That's why I own several different versions and editions of these books. Yeah, and you get to the text stuff here. Yeah, you got your heavy gunners. You got later you get some of this like oh, look at that. I mean, this is straight out of Pitt. Even and it's not just the size of the character. It's the deliberation of this rim shadow. Even knowing that he was going to be getting these super flat, unrendered colors. I mean, the most rendering you can see here is a two-tone grad right here. This also shows he would have drawn a really cool Silver Surfer in the 90s. Oh, come on, man. This is like, yeah, I'm not going to say it. I know what that's from. Yeah, it's stuff, like I said, it's fun, man. Look at the size comparison. Super cool pose right here. Doesn't really look overexerted. Cool rendering. The keyed back coloring actually helps this page in a weird way. I feel like it would have been over rendered if it was highly detailed. Yeah, and then you got the Artemis, right? Yeah. Yeah, his ability even here to toggle, it's almost an Alan Davis level uh, cut into, nice, not too frugal backgrounds. Uh, all the story elements are there. Very kind to the letter, lots of space, So very good spatial awareness by Deodato with these pages. There's something I remember with his glory pages when they would roll in too, because we'd all get to see this stuff come in because he was, I think it was in Brazil. So they would like FedEx these pages in, and these boxes would be like completely hammered, but the pages inside were mint. Yeah, this is. If you color flip the skin on these characters to green, that's Del Keown's Hulk right there. Like, even though they're not the size of the Hulk, you can see it. Definitely had some Hulk book open, some Del Keown Hulk. He had some, along with Jim Lee. This is a Jim Lee figure and face. The rendering, though, again, he kind of teeters. He kind of comes back and forth between that style. But another cool thing, though, is with Deodato, even though he's got these very strong influences, his work looks like his work. It doesn't look like someone else's work. Even though the influence shines, there's something about his own polish that it's a pretty fun cover right there. It's one thing Bolin can do. Bolin has always had the ability to draw what we'd consider to be an unattractive face, like making a facial gesture that really isn't necessarily fun to draw, but where it doesn't look. This doesn't look like a meme. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks realistic. It looks realistic to, uh, what he's contained here in his page. It doesn't look over expressive or cartoony. Yeah, and here you can see a lot of the Neil, the gesturing. If you omit all this rendering here, this gesturing here, this stuff right here is very continuity era Neil Adams based looking work. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Got some shots of Diana's flying around. You get a little bit of not necessarily a rogues gallery, but you do get some guest star stuff in these issues. He had a really good grasp on, what's her name, Cheetah? Yeah. Big Hair Mondays. Look at this figure right here. Come on, guy. Here. It's Pitt. There you go. Now it's Pitt. I'm poking fun, but I actually wouldn't mind owning these original. These are really, really sick line art, and I know this thing probably looks a million times better in person, the original, to both of these pages here. The neck muscles look fun. I like when it gets messy too. Some of this rendering here feels almost like a cleaner Mark Texeira kind of a look. Like this feels like a Mark Texeira arm, like a Punisher, whoever. Yeah. Need to force myself to keep turning these. One one of the dangerous things about this collected edition is it's real easy to get swept up and just start kind of analyzing what he did with the smoke and the rocks and showing the energy of the rock burst and the the scope of these characters and stuff. And then before you know it, the sun's gone down. And that's happened to me a few times. And I'm like, oh, I need to draw some pages. The last 4 hours I've been looking at all this collected edition stuff. It's a pretty cool face right here for Joker. I like his take on it. It's pretty fun too. You do get a lot of that Boland anatomically. Facial anatomy is very Brian Boland. There was no, at this time, there was no Jim Lee Joker for him to be looking at. Otherwise, I guarantee you this face would be very, very different. So yeah, you get to see a lot of his own interpretation without the reference of showing, what it would look like. Like this is a pretty cool shot. I like this face a lot. And wispy inks. There's something about these inks too. They're kind of in between. Like at the time when these were coming out, you had inkers like Matt Banning, Bat. You had I don't think Joe. I think Joe Weems was actually inking Vampirella when these were coming out. I do not think he was at Top Cal yet. So the Vampirella stuff he was inking was very non-image looking. It was very kind of house style for Harris Comics, at least. Their stuff always had more of a kind of like a early 80s, late 70s look to it. Personally, that's what I think. It's a cool figure right there. Yeah, and I know Deodato doesn't draw like this. It's not Pitt again. Yeah, I know Deodato doesn't draw like this anymore. Yeah. I've seen videos on his socials where he shows off how he basically traces photos now, and it's like I miss this stuff. I miss this stuff. Yeah, because when you're drawing in this style, you're pulling it from somewhere else. You're pulling it out of the ether. You don't necessarily have the the photo reliance and trying to be photo accurate. It's actually why I love comics. If all comics were drawn realistically, you do have to have a degree of knowledge. I like this page a lot. You do have to have a degree of knowledge of the anatomy and how to make stuff look kind of correct. But you're really just trying to sell the idea. It's all an illusion. So this character reminds me a lot of what's that artist's name? I think it's Wang Win or Wong. It's Hoang Win Nguyhn Win. Pronounce it Win. He had a book called Metal Militia. I think it was called Metal Militia, and that character looks very, very similar to his books. I'm pretty sure his books came out before this stuff. It's a nice crop shot right there. Yeah, you could tell he's getting a little winded at the end of this issue. So 98, he must have known. Sometimes artists do this thing where you know the end of the line is coming, like you have something else lined up. Look at this, you got a DPS vertical. It's pretty fun. And also, apologies about my hand. You know, I need to stop doing that. I keep putting my hands over top of artwork. That's acceptable. It's okay. Kind of a weird angle. I feel like this cheek muscle or the drop shadow shouldn't be there right here, but yeah, they're gonna have this big fight coming up here. You got tentacles, all the tentacles. Yeah, that'd be a really interesting original right there. You get more Del Keown influence down here. Super Del Keown influence right here. That's wild. It's a really nice page. I don't think artists pull this kind of a page out anymore. They're all scared. Super scared. I think Silvestri actually pulled from this. I think this actually reminds me a lot of Wildcats 5, but Silvestri has a double pager of like a cage fight sort of situation, and he's got a really similar panel. I'll have to go back and look. I'm not trying to call out Mark, but word vomit. Issue 99. Some more Jim Lee poses. Misery. You gotta say though, you know, for the year and a half or whatever it was that he was illustrating these issues, with the exception of one book, they were all pretty darn consistent, like quality wise and all that. Here you go. You got some big bad action right here. Again, very Keown hard light type work going on here. It's a pretty cool panel right there. So yeah, back in this part, so you got the Artemis fight, issue 100. I've hated this cover ever since it came out. It's a pretty awesome splash right there. Because he goes full bleed, it feels like a double page spread, which is kind of nice, but it's not. I would have pulled this panel in and gave a white gutter right there. But yeah, I remember a lot of the excitement with this stuff, and obviously getting on the radar of Rob and Matt Hawkins and you know, those dudes just really getting some top-notch artwork for the Glory ongoing series. And those books were good too. I don't think I recorded an art for inspiration, but I do have the entire run, I believe. of those Deodato books because of we would get comps, you know, in the studio, so there were boxes of comps laying all over the place, so we'd all just sort of help ourselves back in the day. It's a really cool panel. The dark blue kind of kills it. It looks lighter for you, but in print it's really, really dark right here. Dark purple, you got blue characters. Um, sets everything way back, way too much. It's a pretty cool panel. Very Eric Larson, Savage Dragon, early beginning Dragon type stuff. Man, what a way to go. Shoots an arrow, he flicks it right back. You did it to yourself. Yeah, this stuff, super gritty, super gritty. It's kind of cool too. You get to see a bunch of the color olds right here, line knockouts. DC was playing catch up with Marvel, who was playing catch up with Image Comics in their coloring departments. I will say though, these Wonder Woman books have much nicer colors than like 50% of the X-Men books that were coming out at the time. Better grasp on skin tones, and these colorists also were not overworking their color grads and effects and stuff like the X-Men stuff was. Over at Marvel. Really powerful panel right here. Something I've always appreciated about Deodato's work for this specific era as well. He's got a lot of pull-away panels, bird eye view. He doesn't really play with. I think the worm eye view is kind of just not a really fun shot or aesthetically pleasing. So he doesn't do that a lot. You got a ground level here. But yeah, just playfulness with size of characters. It's still legible, and he works with the space provided and is still able to give you some of the sizzle through that center of the page. So yeah, there's that. What issues? So that's the variant Bolin for 100. Got some trades here. So this was the original trade. This had a newsprint paper. This one also got a trade on newsprint, and then they had used it again for this right here, which is like, I think this is a deluxe. I don't really know. I know that this one here though is a larger trade than this one here. I think that this one here focused on just the Artemis issue, so it would be like 5 or 6 issues, like 95 through 100 or something like that. You wouldn't get like the 4 previous plus the 0 plus the whatever else. So you got a little bit of gallery stuff here. Oh, you know what? This is from. This is also not Deodato Inks. Kevin Conrad, who was inking a lot of stuff over on Tony Daniels on Spawn, right? I think these are those 2 issues for that other series. Yeah, this is the stuff I never got. So I got them in the trade. I just never got the floppies of them. Yeah, you get some of this crazy robot stuff. Yeah, these teched out characters here. It looks like Magnum PI. Yeah, I don't necessarily remember these coming out. That's really weird. Yeah, cannot confirm the dates on these. This might have been because that's a really weird face for a Deodato. Uh, this might have been after the fact of working on the Glory stuff, or maybe I do remember something vaguely about he had other books he was supposed to do. So there was a time where Deodato was kind of doubling down. He was doing like 2 books a month, like one for it might have been this stuff here. Vince Russell inks right here. Yeah, this is barely recognizable as Deodato's work. It's a very almost like 1988 Brian Hitch. It's weird. Yeah, these faces don't feel like his. Maybe he reverted styles. I'm not really sure, or these could have just been rushed. That might have been it too, because the stuff he was doing for Glory was, I'm pretty sure, was his inks. I got to look through those. I don't recall Danny or Jonathan inking a whole lot, if any, of the Deodato stuff coming in. So those would be the main two. Maybe Jaime Mendoza too. Sean Parsons maybe. Sean Parsons was barely getting his feet wet. I know he's inked hundreds of comics since then, but yeah, he was a bullpen inker with a whole lot of others, and I feel like they trusted him a little bit more than others too, though, with some of the bigger name pages. Wish they should, because he's a really good inker. Okay, so more Vince Russell. So I guess that was the first one. So issue what, 4 and 5? So here's issue 5. Feels a little bit more Deodato-ish to me there. Took my eye off the ball. Naughty. All right. Yeah, you get more of this tech stuff going on here. So this stuff, got more of this stuff here. You got Not Timmy. It's Not Timmy. Yeah, Not Pit. Really, yeah, more Not Timmy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the core stuff is the best stuff. This stuff's okay. I feel his heart wasn't in it. His heart wasn't in it. That stuff. Let's see here. We got. Oh yeah. So he did some other cover work for him. Wonder Woman 123 cover right here. Little callback piece. This is a poster that he illustrated. They don't have the color file here for some reason. And then you got a Wonder Woman pinup by Deodato here as well. I don't remember ever seeing this in print. But yeah, this was a 24 by 36 poster for anyone interested. And the colors on it was okay. I remember seeing it in the spindle up at Fact Fiction Fantasy Comics up in Livermore, California, way back in the day. But anyways, guys, yeah, that's it. So Wonder Woman, DC Comics, I'm pretty sure this is the deluxe edition. Content-wise, it's going to be Legends of DC Universe issue 4 and 5, as well as Wonder Woman issue 0, issue 85, and then issues 90 through 100. There's that. And then my Spanish edition, which I just really like because it is a hardcover and it's got all the main, it's got the main nice stuff in it. The better artwork issues are in this one. This one only has 90 through 100 and issue 0. So these are all from 1994 as well, guys. So yeah, that's Deodato's run. I think it did start on issue 90. I forgot whether or not he did that issue 85. So yeah, thanks for checking this out. Don't forget to subscribe. Um, I'll be having more of these art for inspirations coming up soon. I got some time on my hands while I work. Nice little way to stop having to work on a page, refresh my mind, look at some cool art, then get back to the grind. All right, guys, thanks.